What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Jersey to Vegas podcast. We have a special guest with us today on episode number 19. We have Coach Ames. Coach Ames.
Not so special.
Not so special. That's it. Take the back seat again. Can't put him in the front seat. You got to put him in the back seat. If you guys don't know what that joke means, listen later on. You'll understand what it means.
Yeah.
Pretty much, we're just talking. That's all. At the end of the day, we're just talking here. Everyone wants to hear from you. Like I said before, all 15 people that are listening want to hear
make
from
it,
you.
It's going to be 16 because my mom's probably going to listen to this. As I'm like watching her right now, she's going to probably smoke a cigarette, but whatever.
And then she's going to come into the car and she's our next guest on the podcast.
She's like, what are you doing?
So what's up? What have you been up to? Everyone needs to know.
Oh, yeah. It's been crazy. Like we were talking earlier, it's like stressful, but good stress, but stress nonetheless type of thing where it's just like Greenville, I'm trying to grow this. If you guys haven't heard, I started a coffee company maybe like 2 years ago. It's going well, but we're trying to make it better. I want to improve, and this is like my baby or whatever. So there's going to be failures, there's going to be successes, but just don't want to look back knowing like, or realizing or thinking of like, oh, what if I tried harder type of thing. So if I fail, I fail, but I don't plan on that happening, and I will do my best to make this the best business I can make it. Well, coffee business, and when we expand and do other things. So we have the Greenville coffee, and then like just 3 kids. Gracie's birthday's today. Gracie just turned 3. I have Isaiah, who's 4, turning 5, and then I have Elijah. He's turning 1 next month. So 1, 3, and 4. So
wow.
Yeah. And then Sharice is super busy at work. She works for Pfizer. Dun, dun. Hot topic. But yeah. So
big pharma.
I know. But she's been working on a lot of things recently or whatever. And yeah, she's been super busy. So it's a busy time for our family. But then the moments I get like bogged down or stressed out or feel overwhelmed, I just look at the blessing. Like I have 3 kids. I have a house that I live in. I have an opportunity to make coffee and serve people with my own business and all that stuff. So long story short, that's what I've been doing the past 2 years. And yeah, that's where I am right now. Yeah.
2 years. Crazy. 2 years, right?
Yeah.
You said like you look at the positive and you look at things that you're very fortunate of having. How was there a time where you felt like it was kind of foggy looking at life that way?
Yeah, like it was overwhelming because it was me and Sharice doing the Greenville, where she would take over like the back end, and I would do like all like most of the manual, like roasting, packaging, all that stuff. But like I said, when she got busy with Fives, it was just me. There's a point when I was just overwhelmed. I'm like, oh, what did I get myself into? I just looked at everything like a huge mountain. And instead of taking those steps, like I make the mistake sometimes where I just like I kind of go into a hole and I just don't want to do anything. And yeah. So that gets really rough, and I get too hard on myself type of thing. And I guess like the not wanting to fail makes me or puts me in a worse spot. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, yeah, it's all those things. I just felt overwhelmed at one moment, trying to take care of the 3 kids and during COVID, and they weren't going to school. So it was all of that stuff. It's just all rolled into one. I was just, it was hard. Like definitely went through like a little depression, even because I had no outlet, like we talked earlier. Like right. I was taking care of like the kids, the business and stuff, and I wasn't taking care of myself, and it bit me where I was just like no motivation type of thing. It was just, it was a tough spot. It was a tough spot. And I know, this, I tell you all the time, when I'm in a bad spot, what I do is I cut the world off and I just play video games. Yes. So the worst part, like the game that I was playing was just on my phone. So I just wasn't present the moment. I had a moment to sit down. I'd just be on my phone. I wouldn't spend time with Cherise. I just clocked out. And So it's just realizing those moments. Like I still think there's still room for improvement and all that stuff. I think I'm doing better. It gets hard, but number one, I have to take care of myself, and number two, I have to get my prayer time up. Not everyone is, I get it, religious and all that stuff, but my faith and my relationship to God has kept me it's the number one thing that's kept me where I am. And pulled me out when I was in those holes. So yeah.
Talked about before, something to look forward to at those times. And if that means
Yeah.
playing video games, well, then that's how you masked it, right? Like you just kind of masked it. Yeah, I heard you. I remember when I was doing it, I just drank, and that's how I masked mine for a while. In the past 2 years. Yeah. So that stopped. So that's good. Thank God.
Good. Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. We talked about you coming back to working out again. How's it feel? How's it feel like to be back and training again? Yeah, I know you're not really lifting, but at least you're rolling. I'm not sure if you're doing
Yeah. Like I miss it's just I miss having it's hard because the meathead in me, like I'm in jiu-jitsu right now. I've been, other than this past 2 weeks, it's been crazy. I've been going in jiu-jitsu at least once or twice a week. That's been helping out a lot. I try to recently I've been upped it a lot more, like 3 to 4 or whatever. Not just classes, but just like any kind of training with like my boys, or like at Jay's at Bucktown. I'll do a little drilling at like 5 a.m. I'll post all that stuff. It's just anything just to move and exercise and all that stuff. And I remember you asking me like, how's the knee? I'm like, I keep referring back to, because we had a conversation earlier. I don't know if he's gonna plug it in, but yeah, the knee is the knee's not going to be the same. The bad news, the knee's not going to be the same. The good news is it's okay. Like this is the hand that I've been dealt, and I'm going to make the most out of it. There's no, it's pointless to whine and think about like how my knee used to be. That's okay. Like it doesn't suck. Like it still move. I could still roll. That's like, as long as I could do the things I love to do, I'm okay. The hardest part is I miss weightlifting, man. I miss Olympic weightlifting so much. And yeah, that's a part, not depressed, but it just makes you sad. I'm like, like I wonder if I'll be able to get there. Like I want to.
Right.
But it's just, It just right now, it's just with time, and you know how long it takes to warm up for, especially for weightlifting and stuff, especially with my knees. It just, I have to be very diligent in my time, and just, I got to make the most out of it. So when I get a little bit more time and more freedom, when the kids go to school, or all the kids go to school, maybe I could pick it up back again. But for now, it's just jujitsu, and then if I could lift here and there, whatever I can get, I'm okay with that.
All right, so Ames opened up a what did you do? A coffee company?
No.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ames opened up a coffee company. We got a bunch of questions that were posted on Instagram. So today he's going to answer them live and uncut for you
I'm
guys.
I'm going to try to answer them.
I'm sure you
hopefully it doesn't expose me for being a fugazi.
I've never seen someone enjoy coffee as much as you. Like I feel bad when I make my Bustelo. And then if I run out and I just make my Bustelo, like if I don't get your grind, and then I feel bad because like it's not, or if I put mine in like a regular coffee maker, I feel bad because everyone else puts it in this cool thing that like that pushes down. So we're gonna get to those questions right now. So let's talk about that right now. First question: French press, or whatever you want to call it, versus a regular coffee pot. What is the difference?
There's a few differences. To be honest, it's basically how you like drinking your coffee, or how you like it prepared. For example, if I take a French press is an immersion brew method, where the coffee bean just steep in the water, opposed to a drip, or I can't even think of the name right now. But if you take like a V60, or like a pour over, what's the best? A French press. I'm trying to think of like a coffee maker that everyone is. Oh, like the Mr. Coffee, like the ones that you have at home, like the pots. That's like a pour over or drip machine, where there's a filter in there, and it like the water comes down onto the coffee bed, and then it'll wet the grounds, and whatever water comes down, it goes through the cone, and then all that stuff. So there's different kinds of brewing methods. It's really what you like in your cup, or how you want your cup to taste. So like, let's put it this way. Let's kind of take it into like fitness, right? If someone were to ask, what's the difference between bicep curls and Olympic lifting and a snatch? Which one is better? And your answer is basically like, what are your goals? Like, what do you want? Do you want the aesthetics? Do you want bigger biceps, or are you trying to look more sports specific type of thing, right? Like, what's like prowlers and I don't know, rope slams? It's just like, what are you trying to execute? So that's what I would say with just with a French press and any kind of different brew method is, what do you want in your cup? Because in cups it could taste it could have a heavy mouth feel, meaning or heavy or light mouth feel. When I say light, it could think about how your mouth or like how a drink tastes when you drink like tea or skim milk opposed to whole milk. Like you know how like there's more texture, the viscosity of it. It just
Right.
feels like a thicker drink. Pause. A thicker drink or whatever. That's like that. Some people like one to the other, right? So French press you'll get because it's an immersion and the type of filter it uses, it'll be a thicker cup of coffee. You'll taste a lot more, have more body to it. Yeah. So yeah. So again, going back to it before we were before we were ambushed by loved ones. Yeah. So it really depends on like what you want to taste in your cup, whether you if you like it if you like to drink it straight black, if you like to drink it with milk and sugar, really just what your preference is.
Okay.
And then like your time, like they're
Hmm.
all time-based drinks. The French press is typically be like 2 to 4 minutes or like or shorter. Other ones like 5 to 6. They really all like
Oh.
yeah, there's so many variables that you yeah, it's you take into account, which makes to me that's the stuff like I love or whatever, because yeah, that's the stuff I geek out on, those little
That's
details.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's cool. It's cool to know. I did not
Hopefully
know.
that helped.
Yes, that helped a lot. Like
Okay, yeah, yeah.
100%. Now I'm gonna get
Okay.
one. Immersion, you
Yeah.
call it? It's an immersion
Yeah,
press.
yeah. I would actually yeah, yeah. Aeropress is the same kind of method. It's an immersion, it's immersion brew or whatever. So it's just like the French press, but it's
Right.
faster. It's like
Okay.
2 minutes. The cleanup, it turns into a puck. I'm gonna
Hmm.
describe it, and then you would be like, oh yeah, yeah. But in your head, you're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I need a picture. So I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna save the time. But
Good to
yeah, look
know.
up Aeropress. Aeropress is when I was in Minnesota last year, they're talking about how it's just super accurate with. Ah, damn! I don't want to butcher. I
Doesn't
don't want to
excrete
mess
a
up.
pod? It like excretes a pod,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It turns like you put it into like a tube, and then you just press down so the water comes out or whatever, and then
Hmm.
it turns into like a little puck, and you just pop that puppy out right into the garbage. So the
Yeah.
cleanup, the reason I love it, it's fast. The cleanup is easy. So like the kids are bothering me. I don't have time to do my whole like little ritual thing with like the different coffees that taste longer. I'm good to
Yeah.
go. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice. That's
yeah, yeah.
cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool.
check it out.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
answers the question. It said Aeropress versus espresso. Like that.
Oh,
Is it like
uh,
espresso or it's different?
yeah, originally it was used for to make espressos without like buying like a hefty machine or like a pricey machine, but it turns out that it makes delicious coffee, so you could use it for like yeah, if you change different attachments you can make an espresso with it, and you can do a lot with it. It's very I don't know if it's versatile or versatile, whatever it is, it's that right? You could do a lot with it. So you can make a cold brew, you could like leave it in there, so you can leave it overnight, so in the morning you could just plunge it and you're good to go. So yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow, that's
I
great.
really yeah, yeah, the Aeropress is dude, and it's like 30 bucks. So my cheap ass, of course, I love that one.
Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
definitely got
So
to get
third,
one.
yeah,
I definitely
yeah,
got to get
hell
one of
yeah,
those. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
really good. All right.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right. How do you make you have a bunch of flavors for Greenville, right? And I feel like that
yeah.
was one of the things that really stood out to me. Whether it's a
Hmm.
bolder, a darker, a mixed macadamia nut, like you really have good
Yeah, yeah,
blends.
yeah,
What's
yeah,
the
yeah.
difference and what's that like what how do you do that? How do you do that?
Ah, that's a good question. So it goes to the two. I think the two variables that really dictate that are the beans, where I purchase the beans, like the origin, and the way I roast it. So with there's in coffee in a bag you'll typically get a single origin or a blend, a certain blend, and they'll have a name for it, right? A single origin basically means like the country it's coming from, like single origin Colombia, Ethiopia, Guatemala, Brazil, right? And then you have blends, whatever that store will name it. Let's call it like let's call it the New Jersey to Vegas blend, right? That one. So a blend uh will comprise of like one or two or even three single origins. So for you, like say Pete, you want to make a blend like a Jersey to Vegas blend. I'm like, oh, we'll take one from Colombia, one from Brazil, and then in Ethiopia, and then that will be your blend. We'll do like a 40
Oh,
40 20. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but just
So
the bean
that's
itself.
another thing with single origins, it really depends on like the region that you purchase your coffee. Typically, South America have more things are changing more, but typically South America is like a more chocolatey. If you're more chocolatey, like heavier bodied, I could say, you would go to not more chocolatey type, like nutty. You would go to South America, like a Colombia or Brazil. Now in if you go to Africa, you get more of a like a complex, fruitier, lighter type. It really depends on like where, like the origin or like the elevation, the just everything like where that coffee is being raised or being grown and all, or cultivated. It'll take on wherever that is. Like drier. So yeah, a lot like Ethiopia, for example, like a small example. The Brazil that I have is chocolate and like roasted nuts, or mostly like it'll be peanut. That would be a Brazil. And then if I go to Ethiopia, it would be like green tea, strawberry, or yeah, like tea like yeah, fruity, whatever. Majority of people, I would say like 80% of the population or people that drink coffee tend to go with the South American ones because that's what you're used to. That's what like you're like you've grown up with, like that kind of coffee. When you have like what really opened my eyes, I loved about the ones from Africa, which is so complex. There's moments I'm like, oh, I taste blueberry. Not always, not always. So I just like there's moments I'm just like, oh, it just sounds so pretentious when like I'm describing these things. But to me, this is stuff like I find really cool because like in wine, you'll have like I think wine has about like 600 to 800 flavonoids. Like, you know, when you taste wine, you'll get different notes, or even with like beer. Like, but theirs is more like not natural, but like they make all those up. Coffee has like 2 times more flavonoids than wine, so you get all these different notes. But yeah, but it's one of those like you have to drink a lot of coffee to be able to tell. It's hard for like anyone to be like, oh, if I give you these cups of coffee, you'll be like, tastes like coffee. Right. Yeah, that's why I love having like cuppings, and so you can compare. That's the best way. You can compare, you can taste test, right? So yeah,
that's cool. It's just like wine, like, you know, people that it's just the same appreciation for taste and flavors, right? Like anything else. If you like it, you like it, and you have to experience it, right?
You really do. And it's like some people love it, some it's not, like some it's not for them, and that's okay. Like our goal is just to expose people to specialty coffee, to coffee that's not just dark roasted and picked and just there to serve. So there's
that's cool. It's like overwhelming for some people, just like if you go to a dispensary for weed, come on, like I just want to go to sleep. There's so many different variations that they can serve you based off your preferences, you know? So it's very interesting. It's kind of the same thing, like coffee. If you're into it and like you really love and it can get that distinct, that's really cool. It's really cool.
You know? And I want to be there for people to kind of, because the one thing that got me is when I first started this, when I first started getting into coffee, I would go to I would try different cafes. I'd always be nervous. I don't want to be that guy. Like shit, I don't want to embarrass myself and order the wrong thing or say something wrong, whatever. And a lot of times they weren't the most welcoming at cafes. The people there, whatever. And just like until I got to a place. What's up?
Pretentious?
Yeah. I don't want to say that. Some of them come off pretty pretentious. It's just like, yeah, thank you. But yeah, so it's just, and then I got to this place. So shout out to Mod Cup Coffee in Jersey City, where they were like the crank for coffee for me, because they were passionate about what they do, and they just could talk, and they would just they would teach you without having to like, or you not feeling like you're taking up their time, or like whatever question I had, I would be there for like 30 minutes to an hour, and we would just talk about coffee, and they would just tell me whatever they know. I would learn so much and take that in. I'm like, yeah, I want to do this. I hope one day I could share this love that I have for coffee with people the way they shared it with me, type of thing, and make them want to come back. And it's more the atmosphere. You know what I mean? It's just yeah, some people just suck.
Yeah, it's true, man. Some people just don't know. They don't know how to do it right. Like they do it based off things. They don't do it for the passion or the love of it. And you can tell that you really love like this. You really love it, you know. And we've known that since you were coaching. When you just brought up Mod Cup, and like I got chills because I think about all the times he would leave leftovers. in the fridge, or even warm outside. Like he
Yeah.
forgot his cup of coffee on the barbell rack. I would find it and be like, yes.
And you would
And I
drink
would
it.
drink it. And then I was wired for like, I don't even know how long. But
Oh,
it's
that's
so
so
funny that you said
funny.
mantra, because it reminds you. Yeah.
I'm getting flashbacks of the moments like I would leave it, and then the next day you'd be like, "Yo, thank you for forgetting." Yeah, like it's crazy. Like I never thought like 7 years ago. Like I remember I would bring in like big batches of like cold brew I made it, and I just
Yeah.
it's crazy. I never thought this would be my company, you know? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
cool. It's cool. It's
It's
just
cool.
yeah. It's
It's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
It is cool to see like just literally a hobby slash passion turn to a project, or that's what they'll say.
Yeah.
Passion's a project, but it's a business now, and you know
Yeah.
you can tell the difference in your branding, in the way you present, and everything now. And it's just
Yeah.
going from
Nice.
like the sticker. You know, remember like you just put stickers on
Yeah.
a bag, or like you bought a bag with
Yeah.
a Sharpie and it said Colombian, and then now they just leave it. You
Yeah.
know, it's such a big difference because we saw that
Yeah.
from the beginning, and it's really, really cool. Well, this is a question from
Yeah.
your wife, so you're gonna have to answer this one. Does grind
Pass.
size really matter? I don't know if she's
Yeah.
referring to coffee or not. Does grind size really matter? If so, should I invest in a bean grinder?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. One of the things that we do suggest in investing is a nice grinder, because other than the bean, the grinder is what's going to make or break your cup of coffee, the way it tastes, the consistency. A lot of people like you'll have a consistent cup no matter what. A lot of times people have like, not saying it's bad, if you have just like that blade grinder and that's what you use, then
Mhm.
then that's what you have. Like there's no point of like complaining or whatever. Make the most out of that and try to make the best cup of coffee. But like a nice like burr grinder, the way yeah, like a nice grinder would definitely help. Um Now with grind size, that as well matters, because you'll get different tasting coffee. If for example, if you do a French press and then you grind it like super fine like an espresso, you might over extract, because now it's smaller. There's more room for like water to get through, and now you might heavily extract that coffee, and it'll just taste super bitter.
Hmm.
That's why when we'll have the option of like grind size, like coarse, medium, and fine. Usually fine is like yeah. So the coarser one, because it's gonna be submerged in water, it'll be okay for it to kind of go into the water, and then for the water to extract all the flavors and the caffeine out. So yeah, I hope yeah, and I don't want to geek out too much, because I could ramble and talk about this for a while, but coffee grind size does matter. Like it matters, but it doesn't matter at the same time, because at the end of the day, it's subjective. Like how do you like your coffee to taste? So yeah, it's the best thing is to experiment and see like and play around with like grind size, how long you steep the water, how you steep the coffee, all that stuff. So
So it's really
yeah.
playing around with it to your preference, like playing to your
Yeah.
preference, pretty much. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Like
cool.
what warm up works best for you, type of thing, right?
Right. Right.
Like yeah, like
There's not one individual one. It's based off the
exactly.
individual.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. You talked about
Yeah.
caffeine, like the course one, you probably, or you might get more caffeine from it. What determines the strength in like coffee's caffeine? Like how does that
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, basically at the end of the day, what has a higher amount of bean, like the volume of beans. Like if I
Hmm.
put a how do I do this? Because if you saw like we had a
You had the pre-workout one blend.
yeah,
Remember?
it's just one of those like yeah, it's just what gets to steep in the water. If the longer you steep the coffee beans, the more you'll extract, more caffeine you'll extract. That's why
Oh.
if you take like an espresso, people think it's the most caffeinated, but it's just because it's like it's super concentrated, and it's so small that punch, you associate that with like high caffeine. People usually associate that like an espresso or like a super bitter coffee to being caffeinated, right? When in actuality it's more like a cold brew that's steeped in that coffee beans have been steeping in that water for like over 12 to 16 hours, 12 to 18 hours. It's longer in there, so of course it's gonna pull out more
Wow.
caffeine. Yeah. So you'll have so if you want a stronger cup of coffee, go with like a cold brew or anything that's been steeped for a longer time.
Wow. That is
Yeah.
very interesting, especially when you say like the espresso bitterness. And that's what people think about, right? Like
Did you think about that?
I would, yeah. I'd be like, oh, I got an espresso. I'd take it.
See?
And I'm like, whew, all right, let's go. Then I'm like,
Yep.
all right, can't feel the same.
Yeah.
But,
Exactly. Yeah. So it's it'll get like it still has a good amount of caffeine or whatever, but just not the same. It's just I think Starbucks played a role in that, not a bad way. It's just when you taste that bitterness or whatever, you just associate that with coffee. So when I hear a lot of people like, oh, it's not strong, I hear a lot, it's not strong enough. So what they're referring to is a dark roasted coffee. So they get that bitterness.
Right.
Yeah, the owner, the founder of Starbucks basically really enjoyed Italian espresso. They usually roast their coffee dark. So he brought that to, I think, America. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, so that's why. Like majority beforehand, it was just like Starbucks coffee was just always like bitter, and that's why, because he just enjoyed. Yeah,
because he enjoyed the Italian roast. You said the Italian espresso.
Yeah.
So he kind of made everything the same.
Yeah, a dark roast. Yeah, dark roast. Yeah. So people like that. It's just like when people ask like, what's better, light, medium, or dark? It's like me going to someone like, oh, how do you like your steak? You like it medium rare, medium, or well done? Yeah. We have some horrible people that like it well done. Yeah, they no judgment. They should go to jail, but no judgment. But yeah, like
what do you prefer?
I really depend. I like it. I used to like it light. Right now I'm at
on a summer day.
Light.
A nice summer day, how do you like it?
Iced with a light roast cold brew or like a Kyoto. Kyoto is a way it's prepared, and it turns out very like it's iced coffee, but it's clean, and you get it's more fruity and light, opposed to like a cold brew will be more chocolatey.
Yeah.
So again, so that's like it's the way it's brewed or the way it's made, it'll come out differently, which is really cool.
I remember you tested like a fruity one, a light, and I was not a fan. Like I wasn't a fan of it. I drank it and I was like, oh,
like it's sour.
Yes, and you made it, and I was like, okay, I'm not for me. But then you made a regular cold brew that was pretty similar, and I was like, this is for me.
Yeah, see, you were at like the 80, and it's not bad. It's just like you prefer like a chocolatey, a heavy bodied drink. That's perfectly fine.
Nitro cold brew is like, oh, no matter where I go, it's kind of
exactly
the denseness, the thickness, or like a cold iced coffee. Sometimes a hot coffee to me just burns too much sometimes. So I don't
you gotta wait. One cool fun fact with coffee is, if you guys ever decide, or you can even do it with like regular coffee that you brew, do like intervals of like 3 to 4 minutes and do like taste tests, because as the coffee cools down, you'll get more of the flavor notes until it gets like super cold or whatever. But as it cools down, the bitterness, when you first drink it, it's scalding hot, it'll just taste really bitter. So when people drink it, it's bitter. I'm like, of course, it's fucking hot. So it needs as it cools down, you'll notice a taste difference in coffee. So when we do our cuppings, when we sample different coffees, like some of them start off really good, like it's like, oh, this is going to be our favorite, and then like 4 minutes, 8 minutes later, that one's like our least favorite one, and it's like the coffee that we least like that became our favorite.
Wow. Just because you let it sit.
Like so never judge coffee by the first sip once when it's like freshly made. Give it time to sit a little bit.
So leave it in the gym for a day and then drink it the day after.
That's true, and that's when you know
that's probably why it was so good.
Exactly. That's when you know you made you roasted a good cup of coffee, when it tastes good, when it's cold.
That's pretty good. That's really good, man. Damn. That was actually one of the questions, light versus bold. So you got that. That was a good one. Grind size. Let's see what this one says. This one says, got a couple more here. What is the ratio between coffee and water for the best cold brew?
For the best cold brew, because you want to make a cold brew a concentrate, meaning concentrate is going to be you're gonna have to dilute it with either milk or water. So you want something super concentrated, not super concentrated, but concentrated. So typically for like a regular brewed coffee that you do, like with a Mr. Coffee, it'll be 15 to 17. So 1 to 15 to 17. So 1 is the coffee to 15 to 17 is the water.
Hmm.
Get that right? 1.
So like
Yeah,
1
yeah,
cup
yeah.
or what's
Yeah,
that?
so if I do like, because I typically do like 17 grams of coffee, and then I will just
Gotcha.
multiply that by 17, and that's how much water I'm gonna use.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
in
so for
grams
cold brew, it's
versus milligram.
grams are it doesn't matter what you use. If you use
Gotcha.
grams or whatever, as long as
Okay.
it's 1 to that ratio. If you want a stronger cup, you do around 15. No, yeah, 15, because it's less water, so
Right.
it'll be stronger, whatever. To 17, it'll be more diluted. So
Ah,
if we do cold brew, we want to make it concentrate. So we kind of cut it in half. We do like, I think 1 to 8 or 1 to 9. So
okay.
1 gram of coffee to 8 or 9 grams of water. And again, that's like all like subjective.
Right.
Some people will like it, but that generally those are the numbers that we use when we make cold brew.
That's cool. So again,
Yeah,
it's, you got to play around with it. Like you have to
yeah.
like try
Yeah, you gotta
whatever,
play around. Yeah, sure.
play
If you're
around with it.
feeling kinky and you want to do like 1 to 5 with water and make a super concentrate or
Whew.
whatever it is, yeah. If
Yeah.
you're feeling frisky, go for it. If you like how,
Ah,
at the end of the day, it's how does the cup taste? Does it taste good? Okay, then there you go.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
All right. I think we have
Yeah.
two more. What's
Nice.
your take on the best way to enjoy coffee? Black, cream, and sugar, or add
Oh,
cream and sugar?
nah, mine is do you, boo boo. It's drink coffee the way you like to drink coffee
You can talk
because
to Jeriel.
yeah.
This is from Jeriel, by the way.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, definitely drink coffee the way you like to drink coffee. Like, who am I? Like, dog, I, I have steak with ketchup. So who am I to judge? You know? So yeah,
Every chef in the planet is gonna judge you.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
But
that's true. That's true. I'm okay with that. Yeah, bring it
yes,
on.
do
Yeah, it's
you,
just
boo boo?
yeah. If you like it with milk and sugar, with like a pound of sugar, go train so you don't get diabetes. But go ahead, like have it the way you want it. Like I don't want like a hope one day the goal is to open up a like a storefront. Like I want people to feel comfortable just getting whatever they want. If they want to have it with sugar, milk, whatever, it's so, like it's delicious when you have a nice cup of coffee or like an espresso with milk and sugar. If they prepared it the right way, it's like a dessert. So go for it. It's
Yeah,
delicious.
it's
Yeah, I
delicious.
usually have mine. Yeah, you know me. Like I usually have my coffee. Like when I go to the cafe, wherever I go, I get a shot of espresso and a Kyoto or cold brew. Right. And the reason why this was like a mistake that I made, it's because I could tell the difference. It kind of I don't know. Yeah, when I would drink the espresso, and whatever I drink next really highlights whatever flavor or whatever notes are in that coffee. So my espresso, boom, and then I'll just lightly sip on my drink. Not even finish. It'll be like a quarter. Sharice kills me. My wife hates it because I never finish my coffee. But whatever. This is my guilty pleasure. I'm not even guilty. This is what I love. So yeah,
It's your tasting, like it's a
yeah,
lot of times you just do it for the taste. Like if you go
yeah,
to
exactly.
a wine tasting or we
Hmm.
have wine, like so a lot of people, the ones that want to get life over with, you'll see their cup is very full, right? Like that's me. Like I'm a stay-at-home dad. Like it's
You got
wine. I
those
understand.
canteens.
I understand the t-shirts now. Like I understand why it's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere. Like some, those things like that. It's like wine time. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah,
like you have a little bit, but they're there for the taste, and they'll really just sip it and taste it and
yeah,
enjoy and take the flavors in and how it makes them feel. And
yeah,
it's a process. So it's
yeah.
very once
It's
again
fun.
the whole individualistic process of this coffee drinking is very I don't know the word. It's not a. It's fuck it. I don't
Yeah,
know the
yeah,
word.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Like
just interesting.
yeah, one thing I do love. I don't do it as much, um, but I got into coffee really, or the thing I loved about it was the ritual in the morning. Like this is like a few years back when I really started getting into it, or when I first was starting to turn this into like I don't know whatever. When I was into coffee, or I would take it would take 5 to 10 minutes where I would grind the coffee or I'd make the coffee and I would just sit and just be in my thoughts. and that's like years ago. And now I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, it just that you enjoy it's like the quiet before anything starts, before like I turn on my phone, before I do this. I'm like, let me just have this moment where I do like this fun little ritual of mine, and then I start my day. So yeah,
Nice.
that's a big reason why. Yeah, yeah.
Set you up. It's part of your process. So
yeah, it just
I'm
calms
sure.
me down. Yeah, just because everything, it's like the world now is so loud and noisy. It's just finding time to kind of shut everything out and just focus on like the important things.
Yeah, man.
Like
In therapy, they called it mindfulness. Like pouring coffee and just being with that coffee. Like as Zuzu as that sounds, that was like an exercise we had to do. It was like, okay, go make a cup of coffee, but nothing else. Yeah, like just look at it. How's it coming out? How many drips are coming out at a time? What's it smell like? How much is it getting hotter? And really just being with that process becomes a form of meditation, or what they would say a form of mindfulness, and that helps anxiety. Like it helps anxiety, depression, just by you getting out of, just like when you say, like just when you said like you'd want to escape. So when things start to get a little crazy, you'd go and revert to video games. So now I can only focus on video game. But you could do that with everything, and I think it's called like at the moment. I forget what it's called. One time, one moment. I'm definitely messing it up, but it was a skill we learned in group therapy, and that's like, just be with your coffee, literally, like be there.
Oh yeah, wow! I didn't know I was giving myself therapy, but that was very therapeutic. Yeah, it's very therapeutic. Yeah, so highly suggested.
Yeah.
And then when you get your coffee, get it from Greenville.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna plug that real fast. Follow them on Instagram, Greenville Roasters, or that's a website.
Greenville Roasters. Oh, I don't know if I should.
Yes. You have a cupping? No.
I have like announced. Oh no, I gotta wait on it.
Okay. So you got something to come up. So make sure you follow Greenville Coffee on Instagram for the announcement, because he's not allowed to do it. But it does sound saucy.
Yeah, dude, I'll tell you once. I can't. Because I don't want to be that guy. Like, we got a secret, but I can't tell you.
You did it already.
I did it. That's why I feel like, I'm such a dick.
That's
I'm
right.
like, yeah. But it's just, I'm really excited. But we have a lot of exciting things. I'm super excited. Well, I could like drop some things like my boy.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Come back.
See, that's my coach.
Go to Instagram. Go to their Instagram and find out what the secret is, because they'll drop it there. We got the leak. That's enough. That's all. Justin Bieber is around. He's around. You don't know where he's playing.
You got my leak. Yeah, you got my leak. That's all you need.
And I'm excited now. I'm like, now I want to go. Now I want to do it. The one thing that I always ask is there a question that we left out that maybe you wanted me to ask you? I know it's a tough question to kind of think about, but is there something that I might not have brought up that you wish I kind of brought up?
Yeah. What about the stand-up kind of helped you out to get?
It's just like another like something to look forward to. Something to shoot towards versus like this was the end. Like that was at the end for me. Like it's what it kind of felt like.
That became like your outlet of like something you're trying to master,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Always learning, always trying to learn something.
Yeah. Like I like speaking as a dude, I just think it's super important, is because when I'm not doing that, or when I'm not trying to like master something, I'm a mess. Right. Like when I'm just thinking about like taking care of the family and like this whole business thing, and just like at the end of the day, I'm like, what am I doing? And it's just like, why am I like, it just like bad thoughts kick in, and I'm just in a bad place. And then I start getting angry. It's one of those realists, like I gotta put myself, like I gotta take care of myself, basically. Right.
Yeah. It's hard for us. It's hard for people like us. We're the same, dude. So it's like, it's hard to put yourself in the front seat. You should be in the back there in the kid seat, right? All the time. All the time. But we have to be in the front seat.
Yeah. I realize I like Charisse understands that more. So, but for me, it's really helped me out is just like funneling everything and like cutting out the noise. A couple of things, like cutting out the noise where I just don't listen to, like, because we're so it's like the gift and the curse of having so much access to knowledge and information out there. I'm just overloaded. Like the
Right.
moment I get into the car, like I'm putting on a podcast or listening to something, trying to educate. But at the end of the day, I'm like, it feels like my head is about to explode. I never understood why until I realized like, oh, I gotta take a step back and just let like my thoughts and be bored and just let my thoughts wander and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's, oof, I can't believe you said that, because I catch
Yeah.
myself, I'm trying to learn. And like, if I'm taking the dogs for a walk, I'm putting on a how-to something. It's
Yeah.
like how to something to walk the dogs. But it's
Yeah.
like,
How to not suck or whatever deep dive
yeah,
we go into.
yeah, whatever project is at that point. It's like how it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm like, how do I sell on Etsy? Literally, that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking at. You know what I mean? But like, it
Yeah.
doesn't. When do you stop? When's the
Yeah.
point of like just listen to the boredom? And
Yeah.
it's important.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I cut out the noise. That was one way of cutting out the noise. I'm just like, dude, like I catch myself now when I'm like, when I feel like when I'm not aware, one thing that clicks in is when I'm constantly looking, when I feel like I'm looking and I'm getting kind of anxious to find like something to listen to. I'm like, oh shoot, take a step back and just turn everything off and just be
Hmm.
my thoughts. Because I'm driving so much, I'm like delivering stuff or picking up the kids, like their school's a little farther now. So all this stuff, I'm just like, let me just be in my thoughts and like get my prey on and all that stuff.
Yeah. And how does that
So
feel now?
feels way better, man. It's just like it's like it's I guess it's just like everything in life. It's you're always trying to get better. I have to be okay with it not being the way I want and just
Right.
like a little bit of progress. And it sounded so cheesy. It's like I used to love that quote, like 1% better every day. But then it's just like the hipster in us, and when something gets too popular, like, oh, that's corny type of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, that's corny. Yeah. But I look back now, I'm like, I have to be okay with just like if I finish like 3 out of the 10 to-dos, it's okay because it's 3. Like I
Right.
got something done. I can't beat because I beat myself up. I'm like, you didn't finish the 10 things, you lazy you
Right.
bitch ass. I don't know if
Right.
like my bad. But
No,
yeah,
you
so it's just I gotta be okay with just getting better just a little bit, just improving, just one small step. And yeah, yeah.
yeah. One, even if it's one, and that's the
Hmm.
hardest. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's like, look, all right,
yeah,
like you look at the stuff you do every day, and just like what I do every day, like right now, someone's gonna bother me.
yeah. Oh, okay,
This,
okay.
yeah, this sheet, I write it down every single
Oh,
day. It's hourly, daily
nice.
planner. So I have like I need paper. I need it in front of me. I can't put it on my phone. It doesn't work on my phone. So I need paper.
Yeah,
I have a folder
yeah,
and like everything. So this is from three
yeah.
o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. The things that I have to do, or what my day usually looks like, and like the
uh,
little thing like making breakfast for kids, bringing
yeah.
Phoenix to school,
We
right?
got
And
the
then
same way.
yes, and that's it. But like it doesn't make you feel like a piece of shit.
Oh, we do the same thing.
Do
How
you?
many? I gotta take a screenshot and just show you my schedule. It literally like like in the morning, I have my like 1 hour of
Yes,
daddy time,
yes,
whatever,
yes.
and then there's a huge block of 2 to 3 hours. Cook, get kids ready, drop them off, and then the rest of the day starts.
Yes,
I
and
have a
then you're
little
like
gap.
deliveries and make and grind or
Yeah,
whatever, roast,
yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's little shit like that. That's like it's funny. Like pick up Phoenix from school, pick up mom from work. Like it's
Yep.
with one car and one deal. Like you're the stay-at-home dad that you've never
Yeah.
imagined yourself to be. But you
Yeah.
always wanted to
Yeah.
be. But
Yeah.
now it's in front of us.
Yeah.
It's a
You make
little
the most
different. It's
out
like
of it.
getting that dream job. It's like, oh, I always wanted that job. And then you're
Yeah.
like, I don't know about this job. Like it's
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
but you love it, you love it.
Yeah.
And it's cool. This one also says like today's big goals, like was open mic, podcast. I'm grateful for. So it's a little thing. I'll send it to you if you want it. Just
Nice. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever. That's kind of I'm
Yeah.
sure you have your own, and I'm sure you do your
Yeah.
gratitude list all the time. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. 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 Maybe what the first thing that popped in my head is it goes back to like drowning out like or cutting the noise and stuff. What's really helped me out recently, and I'm still working on it, is as I just focused on 4 things, right? Damn, let me. I don't want to. It's calibration. The 4 things. Like for example, the 4 things is what I'm doing for myself, like that self-help and like how am I taking care of myself?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing to contribute to the world? The third one is my relationship, like what building a relationship. So just, and then the fourth one is, did I say contribute?
Yes,
Yeah,
that was number 2.
contribute. And then like basically training, like what am I doing to keep
Gotcha.
physically fit?
Like
Yeah,
movement,
for
physically fit.
yeah, these four things, especially as a man, because I got this from like a dude podcast, of course, but it really
Got
helped
it.
me out. Where I'll give example for mentally what I'm doing to that's been helping me out is I focus. This is like kind of like weight training. Like for the next 3 months, this is my goal. So for the next 3 months, my goal is to read, understand the first 3 chapters in the Bible. Right. So how do I break that down? I'm just reading every day, and then from that, I do like every day I do something to get to that goal. Right. So it's not, so all I have is honestly 4 main things, and then whatever I get after that is awesome. Right.
Nice.
So yeah. So number 1. So for example, what am I like? You could do yoga or whatever you want, but this is just personally to help with people. Mine is just read 1 or 2 chapters or 1 or 2 chapters from that book, just 1 or 2, and then what I'll do is I'll write a journal. I'll kind of take that in and meditate, and then boom, that's number 1. Number 2 is like the training part of it. I said I'm trying to get ready for a jiu-jitsu tournament, so I'm just training. I'm training or reading or watching any jiu-jitsu content for an hour, or at least training an hour a day. Contribution is making Greenville better. So I'm like watching roasting like videos, reading books and all that stuff. So 30 minutes, I put just 30 minutes a day, just learning something new about coffee. And then 4 is building a relationship. That one, I'm not going to, building a relationship with a team to get closer. I'm not going to mention who they are because I try to talk to them every day, and I didn't tell them like my goal is to get closer to you so we can have a better relationship. So whoever it is, you can have like a better relationship. Like say like your wife, I want to have a closer relationship, or even like I want to understand my wife more, and then boom, for next 3 months, and then small goal, talk to my wife or for like 5 minutes, or like at nighttime, like recap your day, stuff like that. So those 4 things have helped me out so much. It's helped me kind of, it not only just kept me from drowning, but actually like thriving and like, doing well. Yeah. So
yeah. Nice. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. That was a great takeaway, man. I like that last part. That was awesome.
Awesome.
So something for myself, something to contribute, building a relationship, and then movement. That's your last 4 things to take away.
Yeah.
Shit, I don't want to hang up, but I know I have to. So that's all right. All right, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming back out to the Jersey to Vegas podcast. If you haven't, check out our Patreon/Jersey to Vegas, or Pete's Patreon. Definitely contribute there. Make sure you go to Greenville Coffee on Instagram. Check out Ames for that, especially for the new plug. They haven't told anyone yet, but kind of leaked it here today. And if you want to order some coffee, go to GreenvilleCoffeeRoasters.com. Did I do my homework right?
Yeah.
Get a nice batch. Get a nice batch from there. Oh, I thought you said so. You're gonna say so.
Oh, no. I said yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So, any parting words?
No. It's to anyone that I haven't seen in a while. I miss you guys. That's it.
That was pretty.
Stay positive. Yeah.
Shut up. All right. We'll see you guys later. Don't hang up.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from Pete, you can follow him on Instagram at Pete Isip. Thanks again, and see you next week. Bye-bye.